Being multi or interdisciplined is often confused with a person who does many things inside some isolated vacuum for each of the many things. Wrong person. Sorry to tell you. It is, however, a person with the ability to integrate different ways of thinking, to take methods, principles, procedures, tools, experiences, or even perspectives from different fields, and then combine them to create an outcome that would otherwise quite literally be impossible within just one discipline. And the same is true across cultures. Every culture defines creativity differently. Anything accredited as original or useful, or even what's counted as innovative, is all shaped by context. So creativity is never isolated. It's relational. It's built within systems. It lives within systems. And that's where artists come in. Artists walk in the room with something called cognitive diversity. And this has nothing to do with demographics. We're talking thinking diversity. And the more disciplines you add, the more complex this web of understanding evolves. It's actually quite cool when you think about it. But it's more than cool. The research actually shows that within any organization, within any business, the best predictor for the most effective or resourceful problem solving and most adaptive strategy is functional diversity. And that is simply having people who process the world through different frameworks. Embodying leadership often doesn't start with having a degree at an Ivy or even some big fancy title at a company. It starts with influence, with inspiration. Creatives, we become leaders even in our social networks because we're already connecting the dots between fields, translating between groups, and turning ideas into coordinated action. That's system navigation. And let me be the one to tell you, even if I'm the first, if you are a creative in a non-creative industry, that's just a different level of being interdisciplined. And I'm not going to tell you just anything. The data backs this up. Leaders, top executives, owners, founders, even board members with a background in the arts, they have stronger vision, stronger emotional intelligence, more complex problem-solving skills, and even better relational strategy. Even in medicine, law, engineering, training in the arts improves communication and the ability to make decision-making under pressure, and then especially empathy. Now that's the effect of transferable and adaptive skills, not symbolic ones. The performing arts in particular develops the skill of executive presence, the skill of emotional regulation in public, and the skill of clarity in high-stakes communication. In fact, these are the very same skills that literature on leadership ranks most critical. And emotional intelligence keeps coming up consistently, again and again, at the top of these lists of what the future in leadership will look like. And exhibiting, practicing, or even implementing emotional intelligence isn't something that artists just talk about. It's within the structure of how we work. So when you look at the evidence, the question should no longer be, can artists, interdisciplinary or hybrid, become strong leaders in our industries or our institutions? The real question should be, why was creativity separated from leadership in the first place? Because artists, we don't leave our creativity and our talents at the door when we walk into policy and technology and education or business. We extend those assets into the very systems that depend on it. Now, what that means in practice is that being interdisciplined is not just about forming a identity that's personal to you. You have to look at it as an organizational asset. And at the C-suite level, this advantage, this asset, shows up as people who can turn insight into narrative, narrative into alignment, alignment into action. People who can align vision, culture, strategy, and execution, not separately functioning, but as one integrated system. Now we're going to take a look at a few interdisciplinary artists, hybrid creatives, and see how they're showing up in these sophisticated director roles. See how they've been able to translate their range into influence, into inspiration, to creating culture that goes beyond commodity. See you in the next episode.